Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Chair Yoga. Today, I'm kind of focusing on developing your own personal practice so that you can live your yoga. That's always been my goal. That it's not just a place you visit to get a little movement in your body. Thank you very much, and move on. But that you start to learn that this idea of self-awareness and this embodiment practice that yoga is more or less a way of being. It's a way of how you situate yourself for uh, and the way you take in life, the way you hold yourself, the way you posture yourself, and you can use that right alignment that we're using, all kinds of ways that could be understood beyond the physicality of holding your spine erect. And that you can do that yourself. So I'm just going to use some simple ways of putting something together that you could do. I want to remind you of your countertop height in your kitchen is a great height to work on. Standing next to that gives you a lot of support to put your hands on that countertop and do some nice stretches. Um, so reminding you of that. Of course, you could always pull up the chair that you use when we get together on Zoom and just do the kinds of things you're accustomed to in the class environment. But just so you know, there's other ways. I love the frame of a doorway, that door frame, as a way to hold on and kick your legs or stretch through it. If you have your hands on the door frame, you can pull yourself forward and back in that frame and have that support there. So look for those kind of ways that you can start, because our doorway is the embodiment. So our doorway into changing our thinking, calming down, being more loving, being more alert, all the things that we're trying to cultivate as an outcome of our yoga practice, it starts with the embodiment. It says, we got to get out of the head, we got to come into the body, and we got to move. We got to get some circulation going. We got to start, changing something up. So I'm just going to encourage you to develop some of your own ideas. Maybe you're doing it. And to that, I say great, because I'm sure you're really reaping the rewards of that. But that you can do it. You can develop your, even if it's 10 minutes, of something that you devoted yourself to change things up as a way of self-care, self-awareness, thinking I am going down deep into a hole here in the way I'm thinking and acting, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do one of my embodiment practices, change my breath. I always say to change your thinking, you got to change your breathing. And how do you change your breathing? It's by these practices. So anyway, that's kind of the theme today. It's kind of developing your own self practice. So it'll seem kind of repetitious perhaps, but it'll give you some ideas, hopefully. So let's begin. Let's begin our transition time. So I want you to sit up nice and tall. Matter of fact, there's no reason for me to stick around here near the camera. I can bring myself back to participate from this point on. So we've got that block between our legs, feeling that sense of right alignment that does, and I stick by this, I stand by it, in that the squeezing of the block engages your inner thighs. The only way you can hold that block there is by the squeezing action, and that squeezing action is kind of the absolute basic core strength that you can access anytime, anywhere. So to be trained to feel that in your body, I have found the block to be the simple but effective way to come into that place of core strength. So we're squeezing the block, feet are to the floor, lifting yourself up so you feel like you've got real good posture, lifting up the chest, the whole rib cage, not just trying to keep your head up, but you're letting your whole body lift up and lengthen into a place of right alignment. Now let's start with breath practices. So I'm going to encourage you to maybe have a hand at your belly and a hand at your heart. So you'll be aware of this rising of the breath. And let's do the 3. And sometimes people do it as a 4-part breath, but just to say, inhale in stages, like inhale a little bit, inhale some more, and inhale finally that last 3rd layer. And if you need a 4th layer, that's what you'll encourage. Take a pause at the top, let that breath completely drain out. So the exhale completely. I like to pull my belly wall in to kind of force the breath to completely release. So it's a 3-part diaphragmatic breath. Inhale, inhale more. You'll feel it in your diaphragm there. Inhale more. You're right up at that top hand. Pause. Exhale completely, nice and easy, nice and thorough, and pull your belly in. So let's go get to it. Our own individual movement through, eyes closed, so you can really focus on how this feels in the body. Exhaling completely. So just reminding you, your rhythm is what matters. So if I'm talking in a way that is just off kilter to what's happening in your body, trust your body, find your own rhythm, ignore what's going on for me, and just find your own rhythm of breath. So it takes a lot of awareness. That's why it's beautiful to use as a transitional tool. You've got to be fully aware of what's going on here. And don't forget that part of really sucking your belly in on that exhale, like you're trying to just make sure every last part has been exhaled. 2 more of these. Good. Keep your eyes closed. Relax your hands and arms back down so our palms are up and laying on our lap, but eyes are still closed. Open up your hands intentionally into that mudra of receptivity. You're here to receive. Sometimes that's maybe all we know. What did I, when I'll throw out the question, what did I come to yoga for? Maybe the basic answer every time is, well, I'm here to receive. I'm here to receive the benefits and blessings of this mindfulness practice, this embodied practice. And then, of course, if there's any other thing going on with you, you know what you might need more of. So you're open to receive more. And let that self-inquiry be accompanied by a nice, steady breathing in and breathing out. Breathing all the way in and breathing all the way out. Soften your tongue, relax your mouth, so all of your facial muscles can relax. Press your feet to the floor so you can feel the surface of your feet on the floor. You can feel your toes, you can feel the sole of your foot, your heel. You're aware of the whole surface of your feet. And we're just going to scan the body now, starting with the soles of the feet. Just work your way up into your ankles, into your shins and calves, into the squeezing of the block, so you're aware of your knees and your thighs, and into the pelvis. Now balance in your pelvis, right to left, front to back, so you feel like you're very centered in that pelvic bowl. Remember the map of the pelvic floor? That right to left is the sit bones, which you can easily feel, the bony prominence in the buttocks. You can feel that right to left pretty easily. Front is the pubic bone, which doesn't touch the chair seat, but it's certainly a way of directing the pelvis, and the tailbone in the back. So we have that diamond-shaped map that we're aware of in the pelvic floor. And we feel right, aligned, balanced in that regard. Moving our awareness up through the spine, lift and lengthen. Use belly strength, pull the belly in to help you stay really strong in that posture. Use abdominal strength. All the way to your shoulders as they pull back and down. And feel the lift of the crown of the head. Now return to the full breath coming in and out. And if you can trace that up through the body, awesome, do that. If you're satisfied to just kind of stick with your breath, it feels pretty much associated with your chest area, that's okay too. Remember, it comes all the way in and then it goes all the way out. And this is our transition. It helps us get really aligned with our breathing and really aware of how we're feeling in the body. Or maybe better stated, that it gives us this mind-body connection, which we don't often walk around with on a day-to-day basis. But now we're intentionally bringing our mind and body together. Let's exhale all the way out. On your next exhale, let it all the way out. And we float the eyes open. Let's open those eyes, get used to your environment. And let's begin with shoulder rolls. So either hands on the lap or hands alongside, your arms alongside the chair frame. Remember, that does make a difference. Your arms are kind of heavy. So if you need to kind of start slow and easy, maybe hands on the lap would be a better option. We're trying to pull up, back, and down. So your shoulder blades are drawing towards center. They're drawing toward each other. And because they're often sticky, you might find like it's very little movement to begin with, but stay with it. It's one of the ideas I want to encourage today, is that you determine for yourself, and actually, sounds very elementary, but assign numbers, like I'm going to do 5 of these. I'm going to try to do whatever. When we're moving through into something that you'll think, I'm going to do 5, I'm going to do 6, whatever it might be. I have, set my goal as many times as I can. And what we're doing is to do 10. So that's what, I might be illustrating, but you're going to be, of course, in charge of your particular goal and your particular movement. Let's change that direction. So now the shoulder blades spread apart. Instead of drawing toward each other, they're spreading apart. This kind of gives you the shape of the cat pose. That roundness in the back body is created by pulling the shoulder blades apart. So it's kind of like that. Shoulder rolls, though, we're into the shoulders. Find your breath. Just take some awareness back into where am I breathing here and how is that going? I forgot about it. All right, let's call that good enough. Even up. And then back to upright. Feel your feet to the floor. Let's extend those arms. This time I've got palms facing forward. Thumbs up. I've got my mitten hands on. I'm just going to keep the block here for now because it helps keep your pelvis grounded, very stabilized. As you bring hand over to touch the other one, and then you turn your head to go with it. So it's going to be this twisting action. So there, I just did 1 because each side has to be done. So that's 1. So I'm going to go for it and see if I can do 10. Again, you're in charge, trying to keep your arms held at shoulder height. Turning your head, looking. And if you're thinking, how is she counting and talking at the same time? Yeah, didn't think of that. I should have had a counter. When you finish your goal, maybe you just relax your arms alongside the frame of the chair. Maybe there's a reset, some movement your body is just craving. Who knew? And all of a sudden you're starting to feel yourself squirming around and trying to work it out. You want to listen to that. That's really good information. Let's meet up here. Let's see if we can all join in now, and we're going to move through the cow and the cat. So the arms are going to, come straight back alongside the frame of the chair, chest, chest, chest. So you're really arching through your back body. Keep your head neutral. Don't lift your chin up. You want the cervical spine to be held fairly neutral at this point, really arching through the back body, and the shoulder blades are squeezing toward middle. That's our cow pose, our extended spine. Exhale, get your hands on your kneecaps, straight arms, pull the belly way back, let your chin drop. So that's one. We did one round. So you'll count it by moving through both of those poses. That takes care of another one you've done, another one of the sequence, connecting to the breath. I really advise you to stay tuned into what's happening right there where you are, not what's happening on the screen, because you get the general idea of it, and then you move and you trust what your body is giving you for information, what adjustments you might need to make. I can't adjust for you. You're the only one that can. Remember how you pulled your belly in real strongly when you were trying to exhale completely as we began? Do that again when you're moving through your cat pose. Suck that belly way in real tight. When you finish your goal, the number that you want to do, that feels good in your body, true to you, you'll meet just in a neutral position. Maybe once again, you're finding some reset, some movements that just naturally arise. Good. I'm going to lose the block now. So I'm going to move that block under the chair and take a wider stance. Heels are in, toes are out. Moving into the goddess position. So elbows are bent and held at the height of your armpits. I'm spreading my hands apart. You could choose something different. And this is an open and close. So I got to be very forward on the chair so I can move my legs easily. So, you know, this perfect balance. You got to have enough support. You're not going to fall off the chair, but enough mobility that you can actually do the open and close. So inhale is open, looks like that. Exhale is bringing everything together. So you should be counting, so you can kind of start to figure out how many of these can I do? How many of these do I want to try to do? Open and close. It's a vinyasa, meaning it connects with the breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Let's meet in the open position. Make a soft fist. And now bring elbow to knee, same side. You match up right and right, left and left. And I'm going to suggest you get, you start working on lifting that leg up higher. The movement of elbow to knee is kind of no big deal. That doesn't take a lot of effort. Obviously, it's the movement of that heavy leg up to meet that elbow that's really going to give you some payoff. This one might be fun to do picking up the pace. Let's keep our body parts kind of shaped similarly, but instead of the same side, let's crisscross. So now you're going to bring that bent knee up through the middle, and it's in the middle that the elbow meets the knee. At the pace that works well for you. Feels strong, feels good. Check in with your breath. This would be the time when you might, be so concerned about making sure your elbow is reaching your knee and all that your breath has become kind of forgotten. Then you'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so out of breath. So you got to catch up with your breath. Make the breath a big priority. One more time with each elbow to knee. And when you come down, let's start by bringing keeping your elbows up, but the hands have come down. And see if you can do just a few of these, because I know we've held the arms up for quite a while, where you're just moving hands up to hands down. See if you can feel that in your arms, in your shoulders. Just so you get curious about what muscle group are you experiencing this in. Now, so elbows up, hands down. Go very slowly now. Very slowly bring your arms alongside the frame of the chair. And feel all that letting go in your body. Reintroduce some shoulder rolls. Maybe they feel different, after all the movement. How do these shoulder rolls feel compared to when you started a little bit ago? Change the direction of your shoulder roll. Beautiful. And let's get our leg hips distance apart. So we're bringing our feet a little closer together. Let's scoop up one leg. And this time I'm going to encourage you to hold on to your shin. So not under the leg, but hold the interlaced hands and hold on to the shin and pull it in. I want to do a little abdominal bracing. So I'm going to turn to the side a little bit. It's really almost invisible to see. It's a felt experience, but what you're doing, get a hold of the shin below your kneecap, and it's like you're trying to straighten that leg out. You're pushing into your hands through the shin, but your hands are holding firm. So there's dynamic tension that's going on. And where it's felt in your body, where the real action is deep into the belly wall, very low into that abdominal wall. So it's called abdominal bracing. As you push and pull, you're pushing your shin into your hands. Your hands and arms are pulling right back. Sometimes you shake. It's not uncommon that as you're doing this, it all starts to shake and you think, what the heck? Actually, that's a good thing. That's kind of a clearing. You can think of that as housekeeping. Your body is shaking out anything that's really not working well. It gets rid of some of the junk. So let it shake. Abdominal brace. Good. Put that foot to the floor. Let's go to the other side. Holding on by interlaced hands over the shin, not the kneecap. By the way, a standing leg, what's that doing? Well, it's pressing down. So it feels strong as well. But find that tug of war, the push and the pull. And you stay right upright. Your upper body is strong. And again, you might feel some shaking going on. Stay with it. Catch up to your breath. Keep going. Push and pull. Excellent. Let's get that foot to the floor. Now, I don't know about you, but my hands are saying, hello, what about that? So let's move through your fingers and your wrists. You might interlace and stretch the hands out. A variety of ways you might find yourself moving around to tend to your fingers, your hands, because of all that we just did. No wrong way to do it. Just feel your way into your hands. Let's move through those the rhythm of movement we got pretty familiar with to do our joints. And now I'm underneath the thigh and I'm going to circle my foot around so I'm into the ankle joint. What I really want to encourage you to do is to stay forward. It's very tempting to lean back. I'm going to ask you to try to stay forward as you do this. So your shoulders are still aligned with your hips. There are some things that we do that it absolutely serves our body much better when we tilt back. I don't think this is one of them. I think we can hold our posture nice and upright as we move through the ankle joint here. All right, time to move into the knee. So this is done in a circular way. It's kind of a ragdoll sort of experience. That leg is sort of hanging there as you let it circle around. Be sure to change the direction. Steady that breath now. Good chance to catch up with your breath. We're going to get into that hip. I want you to hike that knee up, get a hold of your ankle, heel, that area. and move it. Just start moving and just remember you're concentrating on movement through the hip socket, where that thigh bone is connected to your pelvis. You're trying to move in that. The grounding is from your standing leg. So the other leg, it might have to move. You might step it here and there to kind of balance the movement of the other leg. That's all good. Makes perfect sense. Good. And then let's come back to center and repeat it on the other side. Again, if there's some movement in your body now, some shifting around that you need to reset, go for it. Scooping that other leg up nice and high. No leaning back. We're bringing ourselves forward. Shoulders are right on top, aligned with the hips. Standing leg is positioned. Let's go into the ankle. It's just, we're just being thorough because the practice of the asanas, the physicality of this yoga practice, is to tend to the joints, to strengthen the muscles, to build better bone mass. So we're just trying to be very thorough in our work. I'm shifting now to the knee. Remember, hold yourself upright. Don't lean back. You can do it. You got all that nice strength of your core, good, strong back muscles. I've changed the direction. You do it when it feels right for you. Do want to change the direction at least once. Make sure you're all caught up with your breathing. Your breathing feels natural. Because here we go. We're going to work in the hips. So I got to get that leg up there, holding onto your ankle / heel. That's how I look at it. And then I'm holding on somewhere around my knee to start moving. And your standing leg is going to help you stay put on that chair. It's going to keep you, nice and supported, stabilized, so you can move around. All right, last time we're going to get that foot to the floor. Make sure they're hips distance apart, nice and straight. You're very upright, arms alongside the frame of the chair, hands face forward. We're in our mountain pose now. Now imagine you've got the block. Try that. Use your imagination that you're squeezing your imaginary block and you can feel that strengthen your core, strengthen your legs. You can just feel how it's a good button to turn on. A couple of variations here as we kind of tie the upper body to the lower body, lifting up the arms and kicking straight out. And again, you'll count. So you do the number you choose. But a variation I want to offer in case, that doesn't work so well. You could just move it so that you're not going from way high to way low. You got your hands on your waist and you sort of find some kind of compromise here. So it's not quite so much movement in the shoulders. That might be a good solution. So you choose how you're going to do it. Count it out. Set a goal. And then go to it. Nice strong breath. I'm nearing the end for myself, so I'm finishing it up. Inhale, everybody, arms up. Exhale into that goddess and let that be a heart opener for you. Inhale up, open up your heart, let those shoulder blades draw toward each other. Just a few of these. And then all the way down. Let's take our wide stance where heels are in, toes are pointing out. I'm turning to the side. You don't need to. Half lift. You know what's happening now, I'm sure. We're moving into the work of the perineum. So I want you to posture yourself, diagonal line of the spine. Don't let your head thrust forward. Make sure it's in line with your spine. And then push your feet into the floor so it feels like you're lifting your pelvic floor right up off the chair, which you are. Lifting up, even if it's ever so slight. You lift and you hold it, squeeze and hold it as long as you possibly can. You relax it all back down and then you go and do it again. And again, I encourage you to set a goal. How many of these will you do? Knowing that you're taking really good care of yourself, like it's a good goal. It's a really good thing for me to do. I'm going to do something here that's very useful in my body. It strengthens me, stabilizes so much. I'm doing 5, I'm doing 8, I'm doing whatever it is. Work at it. Give a little work to it. Make sure your breath feels functional. You feel the full inhale, holding, and then you exhale it out. Good old exhale. Come back. So it's a real functional breath. I'm calling this the last one for me. Coming all the way up, all the way up. And now I'm going to circle around. Loosening up, relaxing through the pelvis. No more tension in the low back. I'm relieving any tension I might have gathered in the low back. Change the direction of this circle at least once with the intention that you're relieving, resetting the low back, moving into more fluid movement through your pelvis. Good. Then I'm going to encourage you to bring your legs a little closer together. And our next one is getting up and out of the chair. So I want you to swing your arms to help you stand up and swing them to help you come back to seated. Make sure your feet are squarely underneath you so you feel really balanced and strong. I like to make sure when I'm standing, that my feet are very much stacked right underneath my knees. Big, strong lift. Set yourself down. Connect this with your breath. Inhale, exhale. You might even be imagining you've got that block between your thighs because that will stabilize your knees for you. Setting your particular goal. Maybe you've long since passed it and you're waiting for me. That's fine. That's great. We're going to meet in the seated position. So if you can come on down, we'll take that very wide stance, tumble on down to a forward fold, get your shoulders between those wide spread legs and look down and underneath the chair. So the crown of the head is reaching to the floor. Big belly breaths now. Press your feet to the floor. Let your hands land where they naturally want to. I like to mess around with that. Sometimes I'm holding on to my feet. Sometimes I've got my palms pressing down into the floor. Sometimes I wrap my arms around my legs in a various way. Use some creativity that just sort of arises. What would feel good here? As I do my deep belly breathing, surrendering the weight of the head. We won't be here long. We just want to offer the body the benefit of a fold. Your nervous system really loves this. It's a way of calming. And it's very good for your organs of digestion. One hand at a time, we'll come to the thighs and we squeeze those elbows into the waist. Bring yourself up halfway. Push your feet to the floor. Spread your arms away from you like wings might do. Press, press, press with those feet. You feel really strong in your legs, but you also feel strong in the upper body as it's holding itself sort of in midair. You want a full breath coming all the way through your body that you can feel it. Like you're breathing in a way that benefits your ankles and your feet just as much as it's benefiting, your shoulders and your chest. All the way up, palms will come together, look up. Exhale, let's bow to ourselves at the heart. Up and all the way down. And let's just make our way to standing. Again, you could use the block to squeeze between your legs if that's something you've come to rely on as a good way to stabilizing. I like that too. Palms face forward, soften the knees or unlock the knees. Press those feet to the floor so you can really feel that. Let's take a pause here as we stand up nice and tall, real strong in our mountain pose. I want you to do a full body breath. It starts at the soles of the feet. It rises or ascends through the front body. That inhale is going to take a long time because it's got to reach the crown of the head. And as you exhale, it's going to be down or descending down the back side of your body, that exhalation. And pay attention to the breath in its entirety. You want to be aware of the experience of the up of the front of the body, experiencing that inhale. And you also want to be aware of the experience of your back body as you exhale. Even down to your Achilles part of your heel. I mean, you're just trying to be as thorough in your awareness as you possibly can. This is all about you. This is for you. There's no wrong way. You're not trying to prove anything. You're breathing in a way that just feels powerful to you to be this kind of aware, this kind of connected mind and body by way of the breath. Let's exhale completely. When you're on that final exhale, then open the eyes. Take a little wider stance so you've got a wider base. And remember the posture we did when we were seated, where we had our arms extended, palms facing forward, and we did a little twisting action, bringing hand to meet the other arm. So I want you to find your rhythm of movement and count it out. Soften the knees, because as you're twisting, you might feel it there, and you want to be nice and well suited for that. So there's a buoyancy in your knees to allow you to do this movement. If it is hurting your knees, I really encourage you to take a moment, step down, figure out how to place your feet so your knees are happy. I'm winding down here, last time on each side. Come all the way up, look up, palms are together, exhale, hands at the heart. Inhale up, exhale, a big backstroke all the way down. Take your left foot wide. I'm just staying right in front of my chair. You might be behind your chair, so you've got support. So please situate yourself so it gives you the support you need. We're taking a wide step out, turning the toes to face off to the side. So our feet, just like my hands are doing, that's what your feet are doing. Toes are facing forward here, toes are over here. This sets us up for the warrior stance where we bend into the knee. Bend into that knee that has rotated off to the side. Keep yourself situated so you're facing this. I'm using my mat here, but you're facing forward just like you have been throughout this practice. You didn't change your orientation. You're not all of a sudden looking over here. You're still bringing yourself to this front facing orientation. Let's get the arms involved. So extending out I know what we'll do. Let's bring our arms all the way up. That's better. Inhale looks like that. Straight arms, straight legs. Exhale, we bend into the knee and let our arms extend into the T. That works well. Count them. Get yourself a goal. And you might be doing something entirely different with these arms. That's absolutely okay. Hold it in the bent knee position, arms extended. Let's flip the hands so palms are facing up, thumbs are pointing behind us now. Get real strong in your belly wall, skinny that up. Pull the belly wall in towards your spine. You might feel it like your tailbone is dropping into another root. You know, your feet create a natural rooting for this stance. And you can feel a third root through the tailbone as you pull your belly wall in. The straight leg, that side of your body, arm reaches down to that thigh, other arm reaches up to the sky. Look up. Breathe in, breathe out. Settle back into your breath. Feel it again. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms come back to the T shape. Let's straighten both legs and start walking. Heel toe is kind of fun. Heel toe, come back to center. Shake that out. Shake your limbs out. Move your hips around. And then we're going to set up for side two. Taking that wide step the other direction. The other foot now turns out. Foot. See if you can maybe right now from the very beginning, you find your tailbone as a root. And we're going to bend into that other knee. I failed to mention it on the first one. I'm not going to fail to mention it this time. When you're bending into your kneecap should track with the middle toes. It's important. That's the way that means your shin is positioned well. It means your foot is positioned well for the bend of the knee. And then the knee gets to establish that. It's the knee that decides how that's going to go. The foot doesn't tell the knee what to do. The knee tells the foot what to do. So let's find that. And then we'll begin that same sort of movement of straight arms and straight legs. And then this time I've got my hands facing up already because I like what it does to the back body. It keeps the shoulder blades drawing down like I want them to. Inhale does one thing, exhale does something else. Find your number, your goal. If it hurts your knee, you want to situate. You don't say, I guess this hurts. This is one that hurts. No, you're not going to do that. Let's hold it now. Get real strong with that belly. Make sure that tailbone root is sort of helping you stabilize your low back. That's the straight leg. That's the one the arm gets to just touch that thigh, and the other one reaches to the sky. Look up if that feels good for your neck. In any event, no matter what you've chosen, maybe that arm is not lifted up. Instead, you've done something different. Find your breath. No matter what you've chosen, find the fullness of your breath now. One more full breath in and out. Arms come back to the T position. Hands come down. Maybe you heel toe yourself back together. Shake that out. You need to use the back of the chair. The back of the chair is going to remind you of your countertop. Stretch that out. Come away from that to create an L shape. Bend and straighten your legs. Feet are straight, toes are pointing toward the chair, and you got bend and straighten going on with your legs. This would be another time to imagine the block is between your thighs. So you're drawing your thighs towards center while you bend and straighten. If your knees don't like it, let me remind you, then you don't do it. It's often really useful because we've pulled our body weight back through the butt that the knees are kind of happy here. They're not so, there's not a lot of pressure in them. But if you're finding it to be a problem, no matter what I'm saying, you just don't do it. Straight leg, hold it now. Press the toes into the floor, the whole surface of your foot. Squeeze that imaginary block. Squeeze it now. Try to straighten out the bend of the knee that you're trying to see if you can stretch into the calves and into your hamstrings a little more today as you breathe big breaths in and out. Pull your chin in towards your throat. So you're not trying to look at your hands. You want your neck to be kind of off duty here. It's being held in a very neutral position. Let's start walking toward our countertop, toward our chair. Wider angle, heels are in, toes are out. Deeper squats. So if you were at the countertop, you would have your hands there and you're just doing some deeper squats. But the benefit of the chair is you can use it for the whole length of that squat. Heels in, toes out. The bend of the knee still goes in the direction of those toes. Beautiful. And let's come back up to our mountain pose. I am going to get my block. I'm putting it between my lower legs. Squeeze it. And let's bring our hands to the prayer position at the heart. Find a breath practice you like. I'm kind of, my immediate go-to is this full body breath. But you might have something else in mind. So as you hold yourself in this mountain posture, this place of strength and stability, find a breath practice that helps you stay very in tune to your breath. Breathing in and out of the nose, using your mouth for breathing, any way at all that you find yourself in a breath, in a pranayama, a particular breath practice. Feel the strength and stability in your body, in your legs, in your ankles. Feel that core strength. Maybe you feel stronger and more stabilized in your low back. And there's ease of movement in your shoulders. Breathing all the way in before you breathe all the way out. Good. Flutter your eyes open now and position yourself. I'm right where we were, worked well for me. I've got the chair right there for support as we come into a balance. So the arm that's near the chair, perhaps, no, I think I'm going to go the other way. I'm not sure. Try the other way and see how that goes, is lifting up. And then I'm going to allow just this, matching arms and legs to kind of be my centering point, and then other limbs are reaching. I thought maybe I'd want to be able to touch the chair. That's why I switched sides. So you're going to go the other way. By all means, just create what you need to here. Lift yourself up. Try bending that knee. That floating leg is not just straight anymore. It's bent. It's kind of nice to have the chair there. Now stay with the same arm. Let's get both feet down. Stay with the same lift of the arm. And now we're shifting. I've been doing this a lot. I know I did it the other day for sure, where we switch now. Same arm is reaching up for our kind of anchor, like it's like we're holding on to something up there. But we switched what standing leg we got. And see how that goes. So this one keeps your hand near the chair. I think I'm onto something here. Finally figured that out. You want that floating hand to be near the chair so you could use it for support. Now try this. Bent elbow and bent knee. So I made a soft fist up here. I'm going to see if I can cross over just for a couple. That takes some core strength. I'm going to try one more. High knee. Excellent. Palms come together up there. Look up. Exhale. Let's bow to the heart. Up. All the way around. Let's try the other side. So other arm. Let's try to kind of start with a traditional balancing same arm, same leg. That's our stability. The other parts are floating, trying to find some creativity here. You can always use the chair. You could hold on there and, you know, change how close you are to the chair. All that can be adjusted. Keep breathing. Now we're going to bend that knee. I want it rolling out toward the chair in an external rotation. That's my choice. Deepen the breath. Keep that same arm up. Switch the feet. So now opposite leg and arm are fully extended, and your floaters are opposite limbs. I'm going to try it again over here. Bent elbow, cross the center of the body to the bent knee. Woo. Both feet down, arms together, look up. Exhale, bow. Let's hold that bow. Deepen your breath, hands in the prayer position at the heart. Catch up with your breath. Big breath in and a big breath out. Maybe you're using that breath that comes in through the nose and comes out of your mouth like a sigh. All right. Make your way to gather. Maybe you're grabbing a second chair by now, because you know what's happening. We're moving into our meditation time, our final relaxation. So relax into your chair. Really relax back so you feel completely supported and held. And once you've gotten yourself situated into a place that feels supportive, then consciously do a body scan. You want to be aware of how your body is feeling now after all the breath work and the movement and the squeezing and the twisting that you did. Not enough twisting. I'm kind of saying to myself, you didn't do nearly enough twists here today. But a body scan nonetheless of how you're feeling. And for sure, without question, we can feel prana in our body, can't we? We can feel the life force, the sense of aliveness, the vitality that we created by our practice. It is a gift you gave yourself. You've improved your lung capacity. You've strengthened your body. You've strengthened the bones. You've created more flexibility, ease of movement through your joints, strong muscles. In a focused, alert, and focused mind. Start to relax anything now that you just want to be real thorough about. So, what about that part of your body that often just carries tension? Even if right now it feels okay, but you know it. You know that place in your body anyway, and you're going to go there and relax it. Feel the softening of your belly. Soften your belly. From the wisdom of Thich Nhat Hanh, if you're not familiar with him, a beloved Buddhist, Tibetan, I guess, monk who was a wonderful, great teacher on this planet, such a man of peace. From that wisdom, we come to some idea that our life's purpose is to love and be loved. And Thich Nhat Hanh, often called by his students Tay said, in order to love, we must be here, must be present, is what he's saying. In order to love, we must be here. And in order to be here, you must bring your mind home to your body. Keep relaxing, layer upon layer. Find more and more relaxing and releasing of tension, a softening. Slowly now, slowly begin to introduce a little more movement in the body. And when you are ready, your feet are back on the floor. So if you've been propped up with your feet extended, it's time now to get your feet back to the floor. And you're bringing yourself away from the backrest and back to a place where you feel right aligned. You're back to using good posture. Feet to the floor. Keep your eyes closed as long as possible. Bring your hands to the prayer position at the heart. This is also referred to as the namaste position. So hands are in a prayer position right there at your chest bone or the heart center. And we bow to ourselves. What is this namaste? I honor the place in you that is the same in me. I honor the place in you where the whole universe resides. I honor the place in you of love, of light, of peace, and of truth. I honor the place in you that is the same in me. There is but one. I join you now and back at the screen, palms together in that namaste position. Let's inhale up and bring hands up and overhead. Big inhale. Exhale, we bow to our heart. Inhale back up. And as we exhale, let's share this beautiful energy, this joy, this contentment, maybe this strength all the way around into our communities. And yes, we meet in the namaste position where we bow to ourselves and to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Julie. Happy New Year.
Thank you, you too.